time to become comfortably seated. Begin to go within and simply ready yourself for your practice. We'll begin with alternate nostril breathing soon, but take all the time you need to feel grounded, to feel landed. Maybe set an intention for your practice. Simply being present is all the intention that you need, but if you have something specific that you want to work on, just let yourself dwell on that. Focus on your breath as you let thinking just drift away or fade into the background. Make sure that you're comfortable and position your hands for alternate nostril breathing. Maybe tucking down the first two fingers so that you can use the third finger to block one nostril, inhaling through the open nostril, and then switching. Maybe using the thumb to block the nostril that was open, and then inhaling through the open nostril, switch, exhale through the open nostril. Feel yourself taking in the prana of yoga, relaxing even more deeply, using alternate nostril breathing to bring your mind to this moment. It takes concentration, so it's a great technique to just turn back the noise that might be in the background, the thoughts that may have come onto the mat with you. Alternate nostril breathing, letting it go when you're ready or keeping it going for just a bit longer. Full inhale through the open nostril, pause, switch, exhale. Sitting tall and comfortably, feeling everything relaxed, and then letting the breathing go, getting ready to move into rolling your shoulders. We're going to go both directions, so it doesn't matter how you start. Just a full, slow roll so that you're conscious of releasing through the shoulders, through the neck, changing directions when you're ready. Let any tension go. Just let it float away. Stay with that breath that you found with the alternate nostril breathing, and get ready to move into seated cats and dogs as you round the back and then lift the chest. So visualize the cat and dog movement that's usually done in table, but we're doing it seated. It can be a slight movement, it can be an exaggerated movement, but again, just that back and forth flexion of your spine keeps the energy moving, takes advantage of the breath. Inhale, exhale. Rounding the back, dropping the chin, lifting the heart. And then coming into side stretches as you send one arm out along the mat and the other to frame the head. Finding the stretch that works for you. Try to keep the sits bones right on the mat, on the pillow, on the blanket, whatever you're sitting on, so that you get the full benefit of the stretch through the torso, just going side to side. Letting that go. Again, sitting tall, and if you'd like to change your legs, back one in front, you can do that, or stay where you are. Getting ready for a bit more breathing. Lift the arms up for bellows breath as you reach up and pull down. Inhale and exhale. Reach the fingers up, look up, and then as you bring the arms down, make fists, squeeze the face. Get the face muscles working. Bellows breath. Inhale up, exhale down. Squeezing those muscles, extending through the arms. Move and breathe. Arms up, let's stretch again to the side. One side, then the other. Just gently bringing the body into your practice. Letting that go. Coming into a V. We're going to use the blocks for a stretch. Blocks aren't necessary, but they're definitely an aid, and I use them anytime that I can. Just taking in that passive stretch. Toes flex back, legs pressed against the floor. Releasing your neck if you'd like to turn your head from one side to the other as you've come back up. And again, just resting. You can have the blocks tall or flat, or again, you might be on the floor, but the object is not to strain. So putting one block aside and then either leg, sending that block away, and then using the block as a guide as you push it away and take a side stretch slightly toward the leg. Again, being careful not to overextend in this stretch. Easy to pull a muscle. And then wrapping one hand around as you turn toward the lifted arm. Sweeping arms up with an inhale. And just let your fingers land right on the mat. Switch block to the other side. Push that block out, take your side bend. Block is optional, but it's a great tool, and it keeps your body a little bit higher since it's important to keep the spine straight. Wrap the arm, turn toward the lifted arm. Keep those legs extended. And then releasing. Folding one leg in, either leg. And bring that block back. Again, we're forward folding gently right onto the blocks. Forward folds, whether they're deep or light, they energize the body and activate muscles. Keep the extended leg engaged, toes flexed back. Relax onto the blocks or onto the floor. If it feels too extreme, then pull back a bit. This should be a gentle stretch where you can breathe and feel the opening happening. And then putting the blocks aside for now. Fingertips on the floor. We're just spider walking the fingers forward. So just like little spiders, walk them out, back in, towards yourself. We're limbering up fingers. Still breathing. Spine is straight as you're in this forward bend. Hands walk back toward you. Sitting tall. Let's extend the legs out, bounce them out a little bit before we take this movement to the other side. Stay with your breath. Don't let it get shallow. So again, blocks, if you like, to lean forward from the tailbone right to the base of the neck. Keep the spine long. Reach through the extended leg and just let your arms relax down. Let your shoulders relax down. Make sure they're not pulled up by your ears. Breathe. Hold the stretch. Notice where your mind is. Bring it back to the breath. If you've started to wander into thinking, ground the sits bones. Press them in. Let that go. Once again, fingertips on the floor. Spider walk forward, out, back. Just walk them all around. Get those fingers limbered up. Pushes that energy right up through the arm as we stretch and reach throughout the practice. Spider walk, intentionally using all of the fingers. And then bringing the arms in. Get ready to extend both legs. Bounce them out a little bit. And then giving yourself that gentle pat, light fist, up and down the legs, maybe the belly, back. The Hara, H-A-R-A, body's batteries awakened with the movement. Working your way into table, we're going to start with a bit more stretching and movement. So once you're in table, the hands come forward 4 or 5 inches. You're in a long table, and then navel draws a big circle on your mat as you go all the way around, getting more stretch to the side body, but also extending the arms, getting stretch through the buttocks as you pull back. So circling one direction, and when you're ready, changing. We're going to build on this movement, but just let yourself now begin to go from child to up dog, getting a full stretch as you pull back and go forward. Breathe with your movement, and maybe you put a circle in there, or maybe you keep going from child to up dog. Listen to your body. Notice what you need at this point in time. The space and time on the mat is yours. Circling, flowing. Getting ready to move into a little bit of an active movement, extending the right leg and left arm into a balancing table. Reach, bring everything down, pull back into child, lifting forward into upward dog. So we're combining this movement with balancing table with the flow of child to up dog. Just breathe and move. Let's switch that now. Left leg goes out, right arm. Extend, find steadiness. Fingertips reach, sole of the foot reaches away. And then coming back to the floor, come back to your flow. Child to up dog. Just moving through the space in a way that feels right for you. Always try to sync your breath with your movement if you can. It gives the mind another focus so that thinking can't intrude. And then coming back into child pose. Child pose, according to yoga, lets you rest in the essence of your being. Facilitates flexion, forward flexion in the spine, hips and knees. Child pose massages the abdominal organs, kidneys and adrenals. And it's just a relaxing place to be. Child pose. Making your way back up to table, let's move into our extensions again. Left hand, right leg. And then you're lifting into down dog. So we're going from a balancing table to a down dog. Full stretch in that dog. Land. And this time, opposite. Right arm, left leg. Doesn't matter which one you use because we're going back and forth from the balancing table and then lifting into downward dog. Full stretch. Extending left hand, right leg. Coming down, lift into downward dog. Form that down dog pose. See the lines. Land gently and then lift opposite arm and leg. Be present. Be aware. Be in your practice. Lifting into down dog once again. Feel the stretch. Just let it happen. Landing. And then lifting right into position for camel pose. So you're on your knees, standing tall, hands on the back, fingers point it down, just resting on the small of the back. Lift through the heart space, gently pull those elbows back, not overstraining, but just opening the heart space to the breath. Releasing, sweep the arms up, interlace fingers, point the index fingers, and then a side bend. So checking your balance here. Notice the tops of your feet against your mat as you're stretching out the feet. Reach, maybe make this a slight back bend, hands release down, and then back to table. Right leg, left arm extends. And adding a sunbird curl, bring the elbow and knee toward one another, extend it back out. Back to table, lift into down dog. So we've just added a sunbird into that movement. Landing in table again. Left leg, right arm, extend, sunbird, curl them in toward one another. Don't have to touch, just a gentle rounding. Come back to table, lift into downward dog. Feel that down dog, the shape of the pose. Softly landing. One more time, repeating the balancing table, extending an arm and a leg. Bring them in for sunbird curl, extend, land, and stretch into your downward dog. Almost finished with this movement, but take your time. Get ready to land and then lifting the opposite leg and arm. Keep your brain engaged. Keep your breath firm. Sunbird curl and reach. And then lifting into downward dog. Walk that dog if you like, or remain still. Just exaggerate the dog as you lift the tailbone up. Heels probably don't touch the mat. Very few people have their heels touching the mat in down dog. When you're ready, walk into a forward fold. Shake the arms out, release through the head. Maybe let your head shake yes, then no. Slight bend in the knees when you're ready to begin to sweep the arms out and up. But take your time in this halfway place, in the forward fold, just letting your body get ready to rise. Slight bend in the knees as you begin to sweep the arms up, overhead, palms together. Bring that energy to your heart. And just find mountain. Land in this space. And anytime you need to stop the tape, sip water, do that. Or just pause and reflect. Breathing, being present. Hear your breath. So there's never any hurry in the practice. You need to be in the space that works for you. Grounding yourself, finding all the stability that you need. So coming into an arms down mountain pose, find your balance, and then just move into sun breaths. Keep that prana moving in the body. As you sweep the arms up, maybe with an inhale, and release them back down with an exhale. Full stretch. Just being aware of your fingertips floating through the space. Shaking arms out. Let's get ready for bellows breath. Reaching up, pulling down. This is a great way to bring more breath into the body as we move on to the more active part of the practice. Reaching up and with intent, pulling down. Inhale and exhale. Keep your face relaxed. Jaw, cheeks, forehead, just relax. Coming into 5-point star. Wide stance, feeling balanced. Extend the arms out. Feel the energy in all 5 points. Land, be in this space, grounded and stable. The open standing poses encourage energy, determination, and fortitude. Lowering arms. Get ready for Warrior 2 to your right. So position arms, get the bend in the leg. And breathing it as you straighten the leg, lift the arms. Exhale back to Warrior 2. Inhale, arms up, straight leg, and down. Head can turn or it can stay in one direction. Just see what feels natural to you. Coming to Warrior 2, reverse the warrior. And after a breath or two, come through Warrior 2 to lateral angle. You'll know the reach you want, whether it's up, framing the head, or the arm resting on your waist. Back to Warrior 2, 5-point star. Let's take a bend before we go to the other side. So point toes to the edges of your mat, come into jackknife. If you want the deeper forward bend, you can certainly come to the floor, but jackknife is sufficient to stretch the back of the legs. And then lifting back up, we're getting ready to come to Warrior 2 on the other side. So you can go directly to Warrior 2 or come through 5-point star. So find that full Warrior 2, full extension, comfortable bend in the knees, and then breathe that as you lift the arms up and straighten the leg. Exhale down to warrior. Inhale up to the stretch. Exhale down. Holding in Warrior 2. Reverse warrior. Full extension, and then breathe your way. Warrior 2 to lateral angle, just floating through that space when you're ready. Noticing if this side is a little more limber or if the stretch is really needed more on this side. So just noticing. And then bringing yourself back up. Get ready to come back to 5-point star. And then taking a forward bend. So toes toward the edge of the mat. Hands either at the waist or you're coming all the way down to the floor for that deep bend. You're on palms or you're on fists. Try not to be on fingertips. Not good for the bones in the fingers. Relax. Just let your body be heavy. Let that energy shift that happens when we do a forward bend, just let it happen. See where you can relax into this just a little bit more. Begin to heel toe your feet together so that you can begin to lift up, and you're going to work the feet all the way together when you're ready. Coming into mountain. And a little hydrating break here if you like, or just hold your mountain. Always take the time to pause. So no matter where I am, if you need to just hold in a place for a bit longer, do what you need to do. So a little bit more bellows breath. More prana, more breath. Feel the strength, the flexibility, and the balance. And if you like, you can speed that bellows breath up. Inhale, exhale, or you can keep it slow. Releasing through the neck if your neck feels a little tight, or just holding mountain. Turning the head gently to one side and the other is a great release to keep the muscles from tightening up. Maybe drop the chin, lift it a bit. Let your eyes be part of this movement too, so that they're getting that exercise. Coming in for a light back bend, so hands on the back as though you're doing camel, and just slight rounding. It's always good to do an opposite bend. We did a lot of forward bending, so that's a little back bend. And then just a light forward stretch, a little bend in the knees as you lean over, shake out the arms before we move on. Another back bend, if that might feel good. And again, you can be in mountain, or you can do these back bends on the light forward bend. It just is up to you. Coming back to 5-point star, a little bit different movement with the warrior two. Again, going to your right, setting up the warrior. We're coming into eagle arms eventually, but reverse the warrior, warrior two, then lateral angle. Coming back up to warrior two, drop the right arm, both arms, drop the right under the left, find eagle arms, and then just a slight bend to your right so that you're not overextending the muscles on the other side of the body. So hold your core. Let your core hold you there. You're not going deep. Just breathe. Feel the stretch. Release back to warrior two. 5-point star. And then get ready to repeat this on the right side as you find warrior two. Find the extension. Reverse the warrior. Float through warrior two to the lateral angle. Just find this movement before we come into eagle arms on this side. And then dropping the arms. Left goes under right, so it's the arm that's on the same side as the front leg. Eagle, arms, slight bend. Feel the strength in your core. And when you're ready to come up, engage and let the core lift you. Back to warrior two, 5-point star. Heel, toe, feet together. Anjali Mudra arms or arms at your side. Pausing to be present, to be conscious, to be an observer in your practice. Being right in your space. And again, a little sip for water if you like. Or hold your mountain pose. Whatever feels like this is what I need to do. So, getting ready to use your blocks. They're at the front edge of your mat. And you're going to be coming into a runner's lunge with the right leg back, but take your time getting ready for that. Right leg steps back, and the knee drops to the floor. Land lightly, and then just begin that walk toward the back of the mat and to the front for your hamstring stretch. Inhaling, exhaling. This is such a wonderful stretch, so take time to really feel it. Don't let yourself rush through it. Better to do fewer movements and feel them deeply and have the breath match your movement than to make it a speed movement. So this is your time and space. Energize and activate. So you're moving or holding that stretch to the back before we switch, lifting back up into runner's lunge, switch legs. Take your time as you bring the right leg forward and the left leg back. Knee comes down and begin your hamstring walk. Going to the full edge of the stretch, both forward and back. Notice which muscles are showing up. Sometimes it's different on each side of the body. It can depend on your left-handed, right-handedness, or maybe getting certain exercises that work more one side than the other. So just let yourself breathe and move through this stretch, and then holding at the back of the stretch if you like. Stay present, stay focused, stay aware. Coming out, come back to the runner's lunge, preparing to bring that back leg forward. Actually, I'm sorry, we're coming into hero pose. So you can use the block if you like, or if you're able to simply sit on your legs for hero. We're going to do a little arm movement in the hero. So you can use the block as a little bench to sit on. Another option is to use a blanket, which I will demonstrate here. But you want to make sure that your knees are comfortable. So if you use a blanket, you're just rolling it, and then it goes right under the knees. So it takes some of the pressure off the knees. If hero is absolutely not a position that works for you, then come into lotus and do the arms. That we'll be doing in just a minute. So sweep arms up. Fingertips on the shoulders. A little bit more rotation. Let the elbow guide that circle. One direction and then the other. Arms out in front. Drop right under left or left under right, since we're going to do both. Find your eagle arms. Now sit tall. Just be aware of the spine being long. Support good posture. Make space in the body for the circulation of blood, energy. So dropping the arms, we're going to get ready to do the other side. So arms go forward, and then whichever arm was on the bottom, this one time it's on top. Gentle eagle arms, and maybe a little circle. Not much, just enough to stretch out through the shoulders, through the upper arm. Releasing. Getting ready to come down onto your back with the strap within reach. Take your time landing, and just be aware of your body fully connecting to the earth. Just release, relax, simply be here. So let's begin to work with the strap as you pull the legs in, send them up, get that full stretch. Good inversion to begin to bring the practice to a close. As you reach up. Now your legs are in the strap, and for this next movement, keep the legs glued together as though they're mummy wrapped, and then you're going to let them fall to one side, keeping them together, and then to the other. Just let your body roll. So your core is helping you stop the legs. The weight of the legs is what's giving you that wonderful core work. But be sure that you lower gently and lift with your core. Inhaling and exhaling. Stopping yourself just before you're about to topple over. So maybe one or two more, and then we're moving on. Right leg is in the strap. Right hand helps you take that leg out to the side, maybe halfway, 3/4 of the way to the floor. Leg is straight. The left leg may be folded, might give you just a little more traction on the floor. And then slowly bring the leg up, cross it over just a bit, change hands with the strap. Right arm, just rest to the side as your anchor. Just take in this final stretching. Usually feels so good after working the body. We're going to change legs. So the left goes in the strap, take it out to the side. You'll know where you want to take it so that you're getting the work that you need, but not past a point of straining anything, the lower back or any part of the leg with that stretch. Consciously letting your body calm down. It's cooling down because you're still, but just let yourself begin to release the practice as we're bringing everything to a close. Bringing the leg back up, crossing it over. Get that outside hip stretch, IT band stretch, leg comes back up. Done with the strap. Left leg crosses to make the number 4. You can leave the legs on the floor or you can pull them in toward you. One hand goes through the opening, the other one around to reach just below the knee. Try not to pull on the kneecap, just below. So gently pulling in. Notice where the stretch shows up. With each inhaling breath, be aware of letting the practice go with the exhale. Now as you release the legs, cross them over tightly, and then you're going to pull them in one more time for a stretch. You're folded in tightly, so you've just taken the legs to the place that they need to be for you. Keep your back heavy on the floor. Pick that right leg up to make the number 4. And again, pull the legs in towards you in this shape before we do the final stretch. Toes are lightly flexed in. Full breath. And then when you're ready, you can release the legs down to cross them tightly and then pull them both in for the final stretch. Notice where your mind is. Let the breath help you stay right in the practice for the final few minutes. And then when you're ready, releasing into Shavasana, or unless there's any other stretch or twist that you need. On this video, the music's going to run for 2 or 3 minutes so that if you want to just lie there and let that happen. That can be your Shavasana. If you are ready to sign off, certainly do that. But I will rejoin just before the music stops and bring you out of Shavasana if you're still with me. So just relax and let the practice fade away. Breathing softly and doing absolutely nothing. So begin to find small movement in your body, wiggling toes and fingers, bringing yourself gently back to movement, or stay right where you are and take a longer Shavasana. Thank you for joining me. I wish you the very best of the rest of your day or evening, and I wish you namaste.